Hey new parents, welcome back to the Dad Life. Today I'm going to be comparing these two popular automatic baby bottle washers head to head. Now Momcozy, who's a partner of this video, sent me their Clean Pal baby washer a few weeks ago, and I have a full review of it over in this video if you want to check it out. Now I was also curious to see if I made the right choice because I've also been seeing this baby Brezza bottle washer pro on my IG feed a lot, and it looked like a solid product. So I decided to get it with my own money, and now I'm going to show you how they stack up against each other after using it a bit. And spoiler alert, there's definitely a clear winner, so stick around to the end to find out which one you should get. For background context, I'm a product designer with a mechanical engineering background, and I've created products ranging from firefighter safety gear to wearable gas detectors to home automation products to high-end quality inspection equipment used to manufacture cars and electronics. And I'm also a dad with 2 kids, so I really appreciate high quality products that are usable, valuable, and reliable. Okay, let's jump into it. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the Baby Brezza product is noticeably larger than the Momcozy product. And it's the first thing that we noticed when we were unboxing this. The Baby Brezza unit just takes up a lot more counter space than the Momcozy from a footprint perspective. And it's also longer and quite bulkier. Both products have a water tank that you fill up before each cycle, and the Momcozy product has a 2.5 liter or 0.66 gallon tank, and it uses all of it during a cycle. The Baby Brezza has about a 1 gallon tank, and it uses about 80% of that, so 0.8 gallons per cycle, and that was after I measured it out. And one of the other things contributing to the larger size of the Baby Brezza is that it has this integrated wastewater tank where the used water from the cycle drains into it, and then you can dump it out after the cycle is completed. This tank has a 2 gallon capacity, so you have to dump it out every 2 cycles. This also means that you can kind of put this unit anywhere you want in the house, which is nice, whereas the Momcozy product comes with a drain tube that you have to put into the sink or into a bucket for used water to drain into. While you could put this anywhere in the house along with the bucket, it's probably more convenient to put this near a sink, so you're a little bit more limited in that respect. Now, since the Baby Brezza is a larger product, it feels like you should be able to put more parts into this, but after testing this out, it has the same capacity as the Momcozy product, where it can hold up to 4 bottles along with all of the bottle parts, or 1 set of pumping equipment during each cycle. And from a usability and quality perspective, the Momcozy product uses high quality materials and finishes, and you can tell how a well-made product is by the attention to detail around the finishes that they use, the material finishes, from the mold tool that they're using, how clean the lines are, and also the plastic injection molding parts that are created. Also, it's clear that they had a team of designers working with their engineers around different usability affordances that make this product feel like it's worth the investment. Now, on the flip side, the Baby Brezza product feels like it was created using manufacturing methods from about 10 years ago. Granted, it follows the same design aesthetic as the Baby Brezza Formula Pro product that they also have, and they're probably also sharing a lot of the same plastic material formulations, finishes, display technology in order to leverage economies of scale to keep their costs down. So as a result, the product feels cheaper. The finishes are dull, and the quality of the product is using an old LCD technology, which is really limited in what it can do. Now I want to talk a little bit about the lower compartment where you load the bottles. The bottom compartment for the Momcozy product is large, and it can accommodate both short and tall, thin and wide bottles, which is really nice. It has bottle and nipple holders that keep parts in place to make loading the washer easy. Now for the Baby Brezza, the bottom compartment is also large, but there's some key differences. The entire compartment on the bottom is open because the lid acts as the walls of the compartment. So basically you have to balance each bottle in there for it to stay in place. And there aren't any bottle holders that keep the bottles in place, or kind of things that the Momcozy has, so that when you put the lid back on, if you don't put it just right, it will knock the bottles around, and sometimes they tip over, then you have to kind of open it up and you have to put it back, which is really a nuisance. And the second thing is, this product comes with these 2 hollow rods, where you kind of install them on the center stem, and this is where water flows up from the bottom to the top rack. And the strange thing is that if you're washing shorter bottles, you have to install the shorter rod, and if you're washing taller bottles, you have to use the longer rod. So This is just a really strange design decision because now you have to store the unused rod somewhere until you need it. And if you're switching between bottle sizes from different cycles, which is a pretty normal thing you have to do, then you have to be constantly switching rods out. If you think about it this way, if you've ever used power tools and you've been changing out a bit, a modern power tool usually has a design affordance where you can store the bit that you were using and you can kind of place it into a little holder that's on the drill, and then if you need to switch it back, you kind of just grab it from there. On the Baby Brezza, there's nothing on this product that allows you to temporarily store the extra rod, and that's just a really weird thing to miss because now you just have this weird part. So anyway, this rod's gonna get lost. This rod also has like a tiny notched area or channel so that it fits over the water outlet, and there's like this only one orientation which this fits into. And that just adds more effort to make sure that everything's lined up just right in order to get things to fit. From a design and engineering perspective, there are other ways to design this part or even this system so that you don't have to do this. So it just feels over-engineered and unnecessary. Also, think about this from a structural perspective. If you're loading up a tray of parts on top and the only thing holding this tray is a thin hollow rod, it's going to put a lot of stress on the connection point that's really at the bottom, and that's going to be your point of failure. And I've already noticed a few times that after using this product, the top rack starts to lean backwards and tip down, and it angles downwards because of the weight of the tray itself, and it's actually not centered on the rod. This is just basic physics and another odd design decision. Another thing is you can tell the quality of the product if you look closely at plastic injection molded parts. The area where the plastic was shot into the part to create the part, and it's broken off of the actual tooling. So that area is called the gate, and that's where plastic is injected into the part. And that area is typically broken off, filed down, and kind of hidden so you don't actually see where that area is. But on this part, it was carelessly ripped off, and you can just tell that they just didn't put a lot of attention into the finishes and how things are, so it just looks messy. Now let's switch to the upper compartment for the accessories. On the Baby Brezza, there are nozzles built into the rack that will spray water onto the parts as water flows up this hollow rod, and the upper rack also has these like clear areas where to put bottle collars, which takes up the majority of the space. However, there are these big holes on the rack that prevent you from putting smaller parts, and it's just not very flexible in terms of being able to load your accessories and kind of place them where you need to. So it's just really limiting in terms of where you can put things. And that's just another really strange design decision. In comparison, the Momcozy upper rack is a normal rack that is raised up so that taller bottles can fit underneath. And it also has a consistent grid so you can put parts almost anywhere on the rack without them falling through. And now, one really cool feature is that you can just flip the entire rack upside down and it effectively becomes a basket, and it fits just right so that you can have smaller bottles underneath. And if you want to put some taller items on top, you also have that flexibility now. And in design, this is just a really thoughtful design affordance that was elegantly engineered. It was really thought through, and it doesn't require, multiple parts like the Baby Brezza machine. Now, I do want to note one thing about the lid. I know that's kind of a weird thing to talk about, but the Momcozy has a smart magnetic feature that makes sure that the product doesn't start unless the lid is installed correctly. And this avoids any kind of leaks, which is really great. Now, the Baby Brezza product, the lid has to be installed in a specific orientation, and if it isn't installed just right, you'll get leaks everywhere, which I learned the hard way the first time I turned it on. Granted, part of it was user error, but also the product doesn't have any sensors to detect if the lid is installed correctly and let the user know. So you could almost just leave the lid off, turn it on, and it'll still run, which is madness. For the display, on the Momcozy product, the display area is clean and clear in terms of communicating what the device is doing and what mode you're in. It has a label with text and LEDs that shine through, and it basically lets you know which mode has been selected. Now, the Baby Brezza product, it has a thin, long LCD display that uses graphical icons to tell you what mode it's in. The Formula Pro product that they have has written text on those buttons, but this one doesn't. And I wasn't able to actually intuitively figure out what the icons meant at first, and I actually needed to go to the manual to figure out if I was using the right mode. And that's just weird. As with most things, the more you get used to it, the more you kind of figure out what the icons are, but from an initial onboarding experience and first use, it's just a really weird experience to go through. And it just uses older technology. Again, a very strange design decision. The next thing that I never thought I would have to actually talk about was turning the devices on. Turning on the Momcozy product was simple, and just pressing the on button once turned it on and I was able to go. When I tried doing this with the Baby Brezza product, I pressed it once and I saw the number 3 appear, which I thought was really strange, and I was like, what's this? Then I pressed it and I held the button and it started to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then it turned on. And I was just like, why is that necessary? I mean, what product being sold in 2024, unless it's a rocket ship, that you actually need a countdown before you turn it on? And just the more that I'm using this product, the more confused I'm getting. The same countdown actually occurs when you try to turn the unit off again, which is super weird and antiquated. From a detergent standpoint, they both use the same type of detergent tablets, and both products come with 120 tablets to begin with. They also sell additional tablets for $20 for 120 tablets, so that's all about the same. However, one clear difference from a usability perspective is that on the Momcozy product, you can drop the tablet into the cavity or to the compartment anywhere and it'll start the wash cycle without a problem. The Baby Brezza product, they recommend putting the tablet onto a very small tray in the lower compartment that is actually open to the bottom cavity. And I think you can kind of see this in the video here. The instructions in the manual actually say to try to place it on the tray. Now it's hard to tell, but this is kind of like a game of operation. You almost need like tweezers to be able to place the tablet there. The tablet is small and the tray is small. And so again, that's just a really weird thing. When you drop it in, it falls into the open space 80% of the time. And it's really hard to even go and get it to fish it out. So like, what's the point? Make it bigger, make it a well, I don't know, do something different, but it's a really weird experience. Now, both products have a similar cycle time for the wash, sterilize, and dry cycles. The Momcozy cycle is about 90 minutes long for all 3 of those modes, and the Baby Brezza is 89 minutes long, so this one wins by 1 minute, which is pretty negligible. So now we get to the important part. How did everything turn out after the cycle finished? All the parts in the Momcozy product came out dry and clean as expected. Now, with the Baby Brezza product, some of the parts that were washed still came out wet. And it's just really odd because it went through a whole hour drying cycle and it was still wet. I'm hoping they were clean, but it does make you wonder. You know, I honestly had high hopes for the Baby Brezza product, and I had serious concerns that I might have made the wrong decision by going with the Momcozy washer first, but after using both, it is really obvious to me which one is a higher quality product from a usability perspective, functional performance, and engineering quality. Now, this is a hot take coming from a designer. I'm fairly confident that the Momcozy team has designers working with their engineers to make their products functional, usable, and also aesthetically pleasing. Now, I don't know the Baby Brezza team, but with all due respect, this is just a really awkward product all around. If they want to stay competitive in this market, I really believe that the Baby Brezza team could benefit from working with a team of designers to think through the next version of their product, because there are a lot of areas of improvement. While the unit does get the job done, it doesn't match the $300 premium price tag that it's asking for. And I'd much rather spend that same $300 on the Momcozy product, which feels like a premium product and is an all-around better product. Overall, I'm happy with the choice that I made to go with the Momcozy washer, and hopefully this video helped give you some insights so that you can make your own decision. And now, I'm going to go pack up the Baby Brezza and get a refund. Again, thanks to Momcozy for sending this product, and if you decide to get one yourself, use the code in the description below and you'll get an extra 10% off. If you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe below, and I'll see you next time on The Dad Life. I'll see you later.